Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Ken Rogers. On this week's program, we talk with Dr. Ernie Minton. He's the Dean of the College of Agriculture at Kansas State University. Funding of infrastructure and research is falling behind all over the country, and we'll discuss why investment needs to be made in order to stay competitive. Plus, we'll have features from Kansas Corn, Kansas Wheat, and the Kansas Farm Bureau, and our weekly updates from the Kansas Livestock Association and market information from Pinion, a division of KCoe Isom.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, KFB.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
And agricultural news from agview.net. USDA's Economic Research Service projects for farm profits are mixed through 2030. The service provides forecasts for net cash farm income and net farm income, two major profitability indicators of the ag sector. Net farm income is a broader measure of the farm sector profitability, incorporates non-cash items. Net cash farm income includes only gross cash income minus all those cash expenses. From last year, ERS forecasts net farm income to be $123 billion, $31 billion more than the 20-year average. Net farm income, $139 billion. Further projections estimate the profitability indicators will rise in 22, then level off through 2030 because of a projected increase in production expenses. In 2030, both measures of farm income projected to be lower than the 2020 forecast. Net farm income is projected to remain slightly higher than the recent 20-year average, but net farm cash income projected to be lower for 21 through 30. Well, on Monday, May the 10th, members of the American Farm Bureau Federation, National Cattlemen's Beef Association, National Farmers Union, RCAF USA, and the United States Cattlemen's Association met in Phoenix. Now, these groups convened at the request of the Livestock Marketing Association to discuss challenges involving the marketing of finished cattle with the ultimate goal of bringing about more financially sustainable situation for cattle feeders and the cow-calf producer. The groups agreed to take to the respective organizations for consideration some action items, including one, expedite the renewal of USDA's livestock mandatory reporting, including formula-based prices subject to the same reporting requirements as negotiated cash, and the creation of a contract library. Two, demand the Department of Justice issue a public investigation status report as warranted, and to conduct joint DOJ and USDA oversight of packer activity moving forward. And three, encourage investment in and development of new independent local and regional packers. This unprecedented meeting brought together diverse producer organizations to identify issues and discuss potential solutions. The issues and action items that not only comprehensive, but there would have been more, but just the constraints of the meeting have made it to go the way it did. Many are pleased to reach consensus on many issues and are committed to that ultimate goal of achieving a fair and transparent finished cattle marketing system. You can find more ag news at agview.net. Stay with us. More in a moment.
The Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. And agview.net, serving the Beef Belt and Western Corn Belt with reliable and relevant agriculture information. agview.net.
And it's our pleasure to be joined by Dr. Ernie Minton, who is the Dean of the College of Agriculture, as well as the Director of K-State Research and Extension. Dr. Minton, always great to catch up with you.
Yes, Ken. So happy to be with you as well. I think things are looking up for the state with the rain that we've been getting. So really pleased about that.
You, as we're talking, just a little bit away from graduation.
a bunch of new students out now in the workforce or going on to graduate school. And so really that's what we wanted to talk about. One of your passions has been beating the drum and really focusing on something that probably hasn't been focused on as hard, and that is investment in the College of Agriculture, but especially, at least for this segment, talking about research and how that is so important. And of course, I'm a huge advocate as well, being K-State as the first land grant.
Ken, that's absolutely right. If you look at, and of course, as you point out, our land grant status, that compels us to do things that other universities don't do. Of course, they teach students at all the Regent schools and conduct research, particularly at the R1s at KU and Wichita State as well. And we do also, but the other thing we do, of course, that is unique to Kansas State University, which is really a continuation of our research effort, is extension. So, we're committed to food, agriculture, natural resources, and of course, by that I mean water and other inputs that are important to support the economy of the state. And so that's our mission. And so when we are fortunate enough to have public funds dedicated to Kansas State University towards the College of Agriculture and K-State Research and Extension, those further the state's largest economic driver. And we've got good solid data from our state, and this is consistent with what economists have been saying nationwide, that a dollar invested in research, public dollars in research, turns into double digits to one. In our case, it's $17 of economic value for every dollar we spend in research. So it's so terribly important, and it has to be continually nurtured.
I think that's it. As folks maybe go to Manhattan that don't live in that area, come in for a football game or a basketball game, they see some of that work being done, north of the stadium. But when you really look at it, Dr. Minton, that's been several years ago. Yeah,
that's true. That's true. The campus infrastructure. I mean, there's one thing about having the pride and speaking about being the nation's first functional land grant university after the passage of the Morrill Act, but that means you have a lot of old buildings too, which is good from if those buildings are kept up with. But just like things at home, they have to be invested in periodically to keep them modern. And so we find ourselves in a position at K-State to have quite a backlog, actually, of buildings that are in need of modernization. There was a good bit of a good study that was done 5 years ago and has been updated this past year that really documents how, not just in Kansas, but nationwide, land grant universities have a staggering accumulation of deferred maintenance backlog, and K-State would be, among those as well. So yes, we really do need to turn our attention to that particular aspect, because modern research requires modern facilities, and so we're all about that and recognizing the public good that comes from those.
Dr. Ernie Minton, who is the Dean of the College of Agriculture at Kansas State, is joining us. Let's take a break. We're going to continue down that road and look at investments in research at our ag colleges. We'll do that in just a moment.
Kansas Ag Report brought to you in part by the Kansas Livestock Association, supporting members' business interests and meeting consumer demands. KLA.org. Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's OHLDE seed.com. And Kansas Corn, building the future at kansascorn.com. guest this week is Dr. Ernie Minton, who is the Dean of the College of Agriculture, as well as the Director of K-State Research and Extension. And we're talking about making investments into infrastructure and research at these research institutions. And Dr. Minton, you touched right before break of it's more than just K-State. It's really all the land grants and all those that are doing research. How can we turn that tide?
Well, to credit our former Senator Pat Roberts, who was chair for a number of years of the Senate Ag Committee, he and others made sure there was language in the 2018 Farm Bill that authorized a program to renew, set up a grants program through USDA to potentially renew agriculture, food and agriculture infrastructure across the U.S. And that was an acknowledgement at that level, at the Congress, that this was a nationwide problem. And quite frankly, it doesn't take too much of a stretch of the imagination to understand why it can be a national food security issue. And so the point is, the authorizing language is there for us to advocate for and hope that we will be heard, that in addition to the needed repairs and investment in airports and interstate highways and bridges and those kinds of things, which are definitely needed, we also need to consider the infrastructure, which helps fuel the nation's economy and helps feed us and other countries in the world through export as well.
You've been kind of trying to talk to whoever will listen through interviews like this, articles, and so on. And you bring up an interesting point. While we have a decent relationship with China, buying a lot of ag products, China has made a big investment in their research and some of those education opportunities as they, are now competing and maybe ahead of the U.S. in some areas.
That's absolutely right. It's known that the Chinese are very much known for looking at the long game and playing that long game, and so they're knowing that a population of their size has to have food security for stability going forward, and so they've made those investments. And while at the same time we've seen the public investment in food and ag research diminish over the last many years, so we really do need to turn that around and be cognizant of that, because it not only funds the genetics of seeds, the genetics of livestock, production technologies, and those kinds of things that are needed. But as you and I spoke about before break, it's also a key part of where you do that work and how competent those facilities are to accomplish that modern work. So it takes investment. It's like anything else that we're involved with in our daily lives.
Well, before we wrap this up, I would think one of the best things to do, those that are watching us, is you get a chance to see your member of Congress, to encourage them to support efforts to bring some research dollars and infrastructure dollars to K-State, but really those that are doing this so important research.
That's absolutely correct. We need a chorus of voices, influential voices, to really make that case, because it's a solid one. It feels so much easier when you're on the side with truth and data to back it up. And it sure enough is one of those cases where if you invest, there will be a very positive outcome. And again, it's a double digits to one turnover. Before we close, and that may be coming up soon, I do want to acknowledge the work of programs, Ken, such as the one that you're doing here, and your effort to support food and ag in the state and the region. And these kinds of voices, such as yours, are so important to us achieving that really common goal.
All right, well, we thank you for that. We try every week. So Dr. Minton, as always, thanks for your time to visit with us. And I'm sure this is a conversation that we'll continue to have. So thanks again.
You bet. It's been great being with you.
Dr. Ernie Minton is the Dean of the College of Agriculture, the Director of K-State Research and Extension. Stay with us. We'll have more coming up.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Hi, I'm Emily Cope with Kansas Corn, and I'm the Market Development Coordinator and Eastern Kansas Representative. And I want to talk a little bit about some of our upcoming leadership programs this summer. So one of our great young farmer programs is the Corn Corps Leadership Program. This is open and available to all farmers in the state of Kansas who are looking to grow their farming operation and learn about best business practices when it comes to farming. This is a young farmer program, so anyone in the age of 21 to 45 can apply. This past year, we had 10 participants in our Corn Corps class. They were able to meet and do some sessions before the COVID-19 pandemic, and then they'll be wrapping up their year with a trip to Kentucky this August with their domestic learning trip to learn about agriculture and corn production in Kentucky, as well as other different agricultural practices. We're excited again, so this year's class will end up wrapping their year with their trip in Kentucky, and we'll be opening applications this fall again for our Class 5 of Corn Corps. So I would encourage you to check out our website for those applications opening up this fall.
Kansas Corn reminds you that E15 fuel is the right choice for every kind of driver. For the car enthusiast, E15 has higher octane. For the thrifty driver, E15 is priced lower than regular unleaded. For the nature lover, E15 provides cleaner air. For the shopper who buys local, E15 has more ethanol from our Kansas corn farms. Choose E15 for a higher octane, lower price, cleaner American fuel. Message from the Kansas Corn Commission. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Thanks to duty-free access established by the North American Free Trade Agreement and solidified by the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, Kansas elevators and Mexican flour mills have a highly interconnected supply chain. Combined with market development work by the Kansas Wheat Commission and U.S. Wheat Associates, Mexico remains one of the largest destinations for Kansas hard red winter wheat each year. Mexico dominated imports of U.S. hard red winter wheat in March 2021, according to the latest data available from the USDA. As the top importer for the month, Mexico purchased nearly 6.39 million bushels. According to Aaron Harries, Kansas Wheat Vice President of Research and Operations, our key customers in Mexico know they can rely on Kansas wheat farmers to produce consistent quality year in and year out. Maintaining trust with these top buyers requires continually sharing information on our wheat crop and providing technical support, information, and expertise they do not receive from our competitors. USDA, in its monthly WASDE report, projected the United States will export 985 million bushels of wheat this marketing year. 10 months into the year, the U.S. has exported 77% of that total, slightly behind the pace needed to hit the marketing year-end goal. Kansas farmers can follow the exports of hard red winter wheat through a pair of reports from U.S. Wheat Associates. U.S. Wheat provides both a weekly report on commercial sales and a visual rundown of the organization's analysis of the WASDE report, along with many other online resources. Learn more at uswheat.org.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Providing continuing education opportunities for producers is one of the many functions of the Beef Checkoff, and the Beef Quality Assurance Program plays a key role. With the pandemic making in-person trainings difficult last year, the Kansas Beef Council shifted to an online platform and partnered with K-State Beef Extension veterinarian A.J. Tarpoff to produce 2 educational videos. The first was a virtual chute-side cattle demonstration using both GoPro and drone technology that showcased the key principles of BQA and how to apply them in a relatable, real-world setting. Tarpoff discussed proper vaccine storage and handling, needle size, low-stress cattle handling, and facility design, all while processing cattle next to the squeeze chute. The second video highlighted certain aspects of facility design that can have a big impact on both animal handling and stewardship. Viewers gained a few practical, low-cost strategies that easily could be implemented on both small and large cattle operations. KBC staff is planning a third video to continue the educational series. To view the current videos, go to www.kansasbeef.org and click on Beef Hub. For producers needing to renew their BQA certification, which expires every 3 years, training is available online at www.bqa.org.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Mitch Dewar here with Pinion, a division of KCoe Isom. What goes up must come down. The grains over the past couple weeks reached up to new highs, but have recently drifted to the downside. With the funds being stretched to a near record length, rains across a good portion of our crop, and a bearish to neutral USDA report, the trade decided to take some profits. The markets have been looking to find a bottom, and the trade has a few different headlines to feed the bulls. China has been purchasing new crop corn at a record pace, a concern of Brazil's corn crop, and we still have time to see a weather scare here in the States. Volatility in the markets bring a roller coaster ride of emotions when it comes to your grain marketing. Trying to take all the emotions out of your marketing is not realistic, but by utilizing one of our grain marketing advisors, they can help reduce that emotion by using different marketing tools to position your operation for either way the market decides to move. If you would like help navigating these volatile markets and exploring the grain marketing tools available, give us a call at 888-452-8751. I'm Mitch Dewar with Pinion, a division of KCoe Isom.
That's our show this week. Be social with us at KansasAgReport.net or our social media channels. Safety first, safety always. We need you around. I'm Ken Rogers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
There's so many people that come here across the state, being on the meet, all sorts of people from seeing what their different backgrounds and the things that they grow and the workshops that they have here to kind of see what other people are thinking and people in their expertise, you know, that you can take back home and maybe implement or at least investigate more if it's something you want to do.
Premier Farm and Home has what you need to make your lawn the best in the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Ken. We choose Premier Farm and Home for the professional look that we do ourselves.
Feel free to stop in. You can also visit our website at heycow.com.